What's up, y'all? We back at it, and it seems like we got the fan translations of the latest chapter of JJK, chapter 12. And I'm not gonna lie, after reading this chapter, ayo, shit about to go down. It's about to get crazy towards the end. Like, yo, this is crazy, man. Like, cross? Ayo, Maru about to turn into a whole different type of monster. Remember how Maru was when he was facing off against the old man? We about to see that times 10. But anyway, let's get into it. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. Also, make sure you remember to read the official chapter when it drops to show your love and support. With that being said, let's get into it. So you have it where, Joba, he's pretty much talking to Usami about how, they've heard rumors that, us humans were killing, the people they worship as gods, the Kyans, I believe that's the name of them. And you find out that, they're referring to the cursed spirits, but they don't know that they're not exactly the same thing, because cursed spirits fade away and disappear when they die. The creature they're speaking of, the aliens they're speaking of, they remain, their body remains, but they are similar to cursed spirits. And I wonder, like, what makes them so similar? Like, do they use cursed energy as well? Like, what is it that makes them so similar that you have it where these aliens are seeing them as their gods, as their deities? But anyway, you got it where they say it's going down in Tokyo right now. That's where they seen all this happen. You have it where Usami is saying, like, yo, we made the mistake by withholding information from these guys. Us holding information from these guys is what led to this event right here. And I like the fact that Usami is, pretty much acknowledging that they made a mistake, that they were the ones who caused all this because they were trying to hide, intel from the aliens so that they could gain the upper hand. As I could imagine they would really do in the real world if something like this was to take place. But you have it where Usami is pretty much saying, like, yo, there's no way that we would actually wipe out what you consider to be a god. There's got to be some mistake. There's been none of them on Earth as far as we know. So you got it where they're heading off to this location. But then it jumps to, Tsurugi as well as Maru, and you got Yuka there as well. And you got it where you find out every so often they do this like purge where they try to rid the world or Tokyo of cursed spirits. After the calling games in the original JJK series, you had it where they kind of told the world, they lied to the world and said, cursed spirits only come from Tokyo, Japan. And you have it where pretty much they got these charms and stuff all around Japan to kind of ward off cursed spirits from awakening or forming. And pretty much that's what they're doing. Although a cursed spirit can form anywhere, they just feel like it's more likely to happen in Japan, Tokyo, or Tokyo, Japan, which is why they told the world that. So they pretty much lied. That's pretty much what they would do in real life. They wouldn't want us to have all the intel. But you have it where, Maru as well as Tsurugi and Yuka, they're walking around and they're saying, like, yo, they got these protective wards, all around this area within Tokyo to kind of keep these curses from actually running amok, going crazy, going wild. It seems as if Tokyo is pretty much an abandoned area after what happened in the calling games. And you have it where they pretty much replace these wards every so often, to keep the cursed spirits from, traveling outside of Tokyo and running amok, which makes sense. And you got it where it says a lot of work, it takes a long time to do. A lot of sorcerers are pretty much busy doing this. And then we actually see Tokyo and we see all the cursed spirits within Tokyo. And I'm not going to lie, it looks like a place you don't want to be. Like, yo, how a lot of people say nowadays, I want to go to Tokyo, Japan before I die. That's a place on my bucket list. I got to see it. They wouldn't be saying that if they were seeing Japan like this. They'd be like, nah, you know what? Japan, it ain't really on my list. I think I'm going to go this way because this thing looks scary. But anyway, it jumps to two sorcerers and they're going around purging this area, pretty much taking out any cursed spirits they see. And you got it where they kind of made it into a game where, that person that kills someone, oh, they get 10 points. This person kills someone, oh, they got 10 points until they could see who get the highest points. I don't know exactly where they're going, but shout out to everybody within my spoiler video who let me know the name of the girl I was referring to. But you got a girl who's actually carrying a katana, and it reminds me of Maiwa from the original JKK. For whatever reason, I could not remember her name during that spoiler video. And then you got another guy. He kind of reminds me of what's the guy? Damn, here we go again. Same scenario, different character. But like far as his appearance, he looks like Usami mixed with Nagami. Now, don't get me wrong, he ain't like Nagami, but Nanami. He's not like him, but he just reminds me of him, so to speak. Just maybe his demeanor and the fact that he's wearing like a suit and stuff like that. But this guy kind of rubs me the wrong way, and you guys are going to see why in just a little bit. But you have it where they're pretty much going around taking out these cursed spirits with this competition, and then they say all the curses are being drawn to this one particular area. So you got it where they walk into this area, they open up the door, and you see it's one of the aliens, and this alien is saying to the cursed spirit, like, yo, I see you've had a rough time, haven't you? I see this. And you see where he's allowing this cursed spirit to lick on him. Now, I'm curious if this cursed spirit was going to devour him, or if it really was seeing him as a plaything, as a pet, or as a friend even. I'm very curious, like, what was this cursed spirit doing? Because it looks like it's about to devour him. That's what it looks like to me. But at the same time, I guess I could be wrong. You guys can let me know in the comments section. Do you think he was about to be devoured? And you have it where these two, sorcerers, they see what's going on. They're like, yo, what's going on? This is crazy right here. And at the same time, you have it where Usami and them are rushing to the area, as well as Jabba. He actually says he wants to go. Now I want to say Jabba the Hutt. At first it was Janemba. Now I want to say Jabba the Hutt. But you have it with Jabba. He goes to accompany them as well as Cross so they could stop what's happening. So then you have it where it jumps back to the two sorcerers, and one of them looked like he's been wounded by the aliens, and you have it where he's telling them to stop, not to proceed any further, or here shoot whatever type of cursed tool he got that looks similar to a pistol. But anyway, you have it where Usami shows up as well as Cross, and Jabba as well. He shows up as well, and you have it where they're saying like, yo, we've had a misunderstanding. The purification is canceled this time. Like, yo, we're not doing it anymore. And you have it where Usami goes to explain himself how he made a mistake by withholding information, which led to this whole situation. And he's saying like, yo, the hunt is off. But of course you got it where this sorcerer guy is kind of like, yo, why are we bowing down to these guys? Why are we stopping our hunt? They attacked me first. Like, yo, what's going on? Then you have it where Cross is doing the same thing as Usami with his people, where he's trying to de-escalate the situation as well, saying like, yo, that is not a cayenne. That's a cursed spirit. That's what the humans call a cursed spirit. It's completely different. And of course you have it where this guy isn't seeing it that way. He's like, yo, look, man, my eyes are shedding tears. That is one of our sacred beasts. And of course you have it where Cross tells him like, yo, if that was really one of the things we worship, the strain would be too much for your brain to bear and you would die. The tears falling from your eye isn't that severe. So I guess it is possible for them to shed tears more than twice, like we've been told. And you have it where, Cross goes to tell him like, yo, look at the corpse. It's starting to vanish. It's starting to disappear. This is cursed spirits known in Japan. This is not a cayenne. And of course you have it where this guy still doesn't really even want to accept. He says like, yo, you heard it in your voices, didn't you? And then you have it where Cross tells him, Osuki, or I believe his name is Osuki. But he's like, yo, please, man, calm down, relax, get it together, hold it together, please, for me. And you see that they're trying to find a way where both parties can actually stop the bickering and come to a mutual understanding. You have it where both sides are apologizing to each other. And of course, you have it where this guy, what's his name, Sky Guy, he's pretty much annoyed by it. And you have it where this other sorcerer, he's annoyed by it. Like I said, both of these guys rubbed me the wrong way. Never was a fan of either one of these characters. But anyway, you have a situation where he's just constantly looking at what's going on. You see that the sorcerer guy, he's kind of itchy, kind of like a cop in today's time. You see his hand, he's kind of itchy, he's trigger happy. And of course you have it where Cross is reaching in his pocket to grab something. We don't actually know what he's reaching to grab, but then it jumps back to, Maru, Sarugi, and Yuka as they're finishing up on replacing these tags for the barrier. And you got it where they said, man, this is a lot of work. We sure could use a lot of help, some more help. Of course, Maru's like, well, you know what? I could ask some of my people to come help and we could work together at doing it. And they said that would be great. And then you got where they part ways and they said, yo, we'll see you tomorrow. Everyone's in good spirit. And then next thing you know, you hear bang, bang. It jumps to, Cross being shot. It looked as if he took one to the heart and one to the belly. And you have it where they're screaming out his name, Cross. And you have it where the sorcerer says, yo, he was reaching for a weapon, so I had to make the first move. And you got it where Usami is pissed. He's like, yo, why did you do this? Why did you shoot? Of course, the other guy, he's like, yo, I'll kill every last one of you. I believe his name is Oskai or something like that. And he was like, yo, don't stop him. Like people were saying, telling Jabba not to stop him. But of course, Jabba's trying to keep the peace. And you have it where everyone's about to face off, getting ready for battle. You got it where Usami is putting his hand to his mouth because he's about to use his speech curse technique. And then you even have it with the girl. She grabs her sword saying like, yo, I'm about to start defending myself from here on out if they make a stance. And then you got it where everyone's pretty much at a standoff, and then you have your boy Deborah walking up. Now, we don't know what stance Deborah is going to actually make, but he is walking up like he about that business. But I'm curious to know y'all thoughts on this chapter, man. Like, yo, Cross may actually be dead. And if that's the case, Maru is about to turn to an absolute monster. But let me know y'all thoughts down below. If you like this video, thumb it up. Please subscribe. Remember to read the official chapter when it drops, and I will catch you in the next one, man. Peace.